What is going on? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. A little bit of wave action out here. That's because we're fishing the Jetty. Went out here earlier in the week. Can't necessarily say we did too good. It was a little bit stormy and the fish weren't too keen on biting. Anyways, we're back out here. We're gonna try it again. I got an assortment of artificial lures as well as some shrimp that may or may not have been left out for a night. So yeah, that might not be doing us too many favors, but I'm thinking we're gonna stick with artificial anyways, so I'm not really worried about it. We're gonna be throwing around, casting. I got a little slam shady on an owner twist lock right now. That's what I caught my nice fish on last video, so check that out if you haven't already. I'll have the link in the description. But yeah, let's just get to fishing and maybe get to a slightly quieter place, although we are fishing a jetty. If it's not waves and wind, it's probably a boat passing by or someone else. So let's do it. All right, we're fishing a little bit less superb conditions. We got low light, and that's always nice, but we're kind of in between tides here, so the current isn't necessarily as strong. So I don't know exactly what the fish are doing, but might as well start with trusty little swim bait here. Last time we were out, we had this little grouper come out of the rocks and absolutely nail the swim bait, except he was a little small, so he ended up kind of just snagging himself underneath the eye, unfortunately, so that didn't count as a catch. We also had a little snook follow us in, which is pretty sweet. But I'm hoping this afternoon we can kind of get a couple more bites, and I'm really just hoping that we get on anything. Not really worried what it is. Hopefully some sort of game fish though, big or small. Alright, say what you want, and if we do get chomped by a good sized snook, absolutely choked by it, we might be in for a tough time. But that's a little 2.5 inch slim swim on what I believe is a 1/5 ounce Z-Man shroom head of some kind in white. I was gonna throw their greasy prawn color, but with so many bait fish here, I want to throw something that stands out so that whatever's hungry out here picks this over the other 500 bait fish plus. Did we get chewed on, or what happened here? I think we might have gotten a hit there, or maybe that happened on the cast. Sometimes that tail comes back and gets hooked. Yeah, this bait is fantastic. Usually it's hard to find a bait that matches the hatch when all the fish are on glass minnows, but that 2.5 inch slim swim is money, especially for trout under dock lights. Little tip there. Caught a really good one last year. That was something. Little grouper. Alrighty. Got our lens here. Sweet. Well, I'm stoked about that. That's a little gag right there. Took us some time, but he is off. Let's just hope he kicks. Come on, other way, bud. Just released him. Now there's a crab grabbing on this thing. Give that back, my brother, or I'll turn you into sheep's head bait. There's a big splash over there. Trying to figure out if someone threw a car battery in or if it was something eaten. Who knows? Hey, skunk's off our back. I'm stoked about that. Oh man. It appears we are getting flooded. Wind-blown bank here. Now I'm telling you, I've gotten soaked every time I stand over here. But let's just deal with it for a second here. Completely wind-blown shoreline. The wind is going against the current today, so I don't know how that's gonna work, but my thinking is this wind could be pushing bait up against the rocks, and therefore there could be some bigger fish stacked up, ready to chow. That's something right there. Another little gag. That's what it looks like. With her hands again. Not much bigger than the last one. But hey, we're out here catching some fish on artificial, so I really can't complain. Another little gag grouper right there. Beautiful little bit of blue on his fins. I don't think you can see that very well, but that's a cool little fish right there, man. Those are my first two ever, so that's a treat right there. Even though they're not much bigger than the bluegill I was catching earlier this week. That's one. That's something a little bit bigger. Or maybe not. Huh. Surfing them in like a baby bass. A little bit more ticked off. He's showing his fins off for us a little bit more. I knew they'd eat that slim swim, man. Beautiful little grouper right there. Well, I guess we were right about some of the fish on this side. That's pretty cool. Man. Kind of my last day to do it, so why not? I've been wanting to try this bait out. Caught a lot of crappie on this earlier in the summer. 3.2-inch mule minnow, except on a heavier jig head. I wasn't throwing it initially because I wanted to throw something heavy and small, but I didn't want to sink into the rocks. But I think at this point, I'm willing to just kind of try anything. We'll see what this does, especially in the middle of the canal here. It might get us down deeper. Who knows what's living down there. Let's fool around with it. Why not? Same exact color, pearl. It's just a different profile. This thing's gonna sink like crazy. I think it'd be fun to catch something saltwater on it. These baits are made in Grand Rapids, so, or at least the guy who invented them is in Grand Rapids, so they're pretty local to Michigan, I would say. So it'd be fun to fool around with them in the salt, which is why we're doing it. Bit of wave action. Slippery rocks. Hopefully not a problem for us. Oh, okay. You know what? Let's see a better spot over here. If we can make it. Can't necessarily say in any case this is my favorite environment to fish. But it is what we got. Blind cast, absolute bomb. That was one, gosh. I don't know if he just tail bit it because it's got a really thin tail, or he just missed it altogether. Come on now. There he is. Whatever it is. That's something different. Looks like a huge pinfish. All right. Well, that's kind of whack. Let her hand again. Well, I guess the smaller fish are coming out of nowhere. In fact, this pinfish is bigger than the grouper we've got. Isn't that something right there? He'd totally get me in the hand with these spines, so we're gonna be careful, but he'll probably end up spiking me. All right, cool. Monster pinfish on the mule minnow. You get spared, my friend. Absolutely a 40-inch snook candy bar we just threw back there. That's another fish right there. Another grouper. Oh, snapper. Okay. Oh, snap. Oh, snapper. Can't believe I just said that. Little mangrove snapper on the mule minnow right there. I love these guys, they're so cool. See that nice little cobalt blue underneath the eye? And that crimson red on the dorsal fin? Such a pretty little fish right there, man. Whoa! Try not to hurt you. Let's keep you a pretty little fish if I can. All right, sweet. Beautiful. Not getting on anything big, but we're not necessarily getting on any trash fish. Oh man. Gosh, that's bad to the bone. Oh, I can smell that. Oh man. Okay. This lethal compound. Can't necessarily say I want this. Whoa, those are flies already. They smell that from a mile away. Get the heck out of here. That is no good. Good for nothing but chum at this point. Oh. That fresh shrimp turned to Satan's grubs in about 12 hours, not being in the fridge. Gosh darn it.